We begin tonight, though, with a smoking gun. This has been the product of 7 to 8 years of coverage on this program, and that is the classified annex from the Durham report is classified no more. The newly revealed evidence might be more explosive than anything we have seen to date. Senator Grassley seems to think so. As a reminder, Special Counsel John Durham, he was tasked under Trump's first term to investigate the sketchy origins of the Russia hoax. But for whatever reason, the material I am about to show you was designated as classified, not revealed to the public until now. It can get confusing. We're going to go slow. We're going to explain it in detail. We begin with a truly stunning email. It's from July 2016. That was the month no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute, James Comey said, you might recall. Anyway, July 2016, according to the documents declassified by Senator Chuck Grassley, a top Soros-backed Clinton ally, his name, Leonard Bernardo, wrote the following, quote, HRC, that'd be Hillary Rodham Clinton, approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing email, especially if the affair goes to the Olympic level. Let me read that again. HRC, Hillary Rodham Clinton, approved the idea about Trump and Russian hackers. Great idea, right? Emails continue. In the absence of direct evidence, CrowdStrike and ThreatConnect, which are DNC-linked tech firms, will supply the media, and they're all too willing to take it. This was on July 27, 2016, just 4 days before the FBI decided to open its investigation into so-called Trump and Russia. Operation Crossfire Hurricane, it later became known. Now, is this an insane coincidence? Well, we report, you decide. And it gets so much worse. A prior email on July 25, 2016, from that same Clinton ally stated the following, quote, Julie says it will be a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. Now it is good for a post-convention bounce. Later, the FBI will put more oil into that fire. And then to make matters even worse, according to reports, the Julie, who we just mentioned, was a longtime national security advisor who served under Obama. Now, the purported author of that email denies all wrongdoing, but are you connecting the dots? Based on these emails, declassified today, Hillary Rodham Clinton approved the Russia hoax against Donald Trump as a political smear and a campaign. That was seemingly coordinated between the Clinton campaign, the White House, and that would be Obama's White House, and Comey's FBI and Obama's CIA. That would be under John Brennan. Now, the now declassified annex described it this way, quote, it was a two-pronged Democratic Party opposition that is focused on discrediting Trump. It continues, quote, among other things, the Clinton staff, with support from special services, is preparing scandalous revelations of business relations between Trump and the Russian mafia, which never happened. As the New York Post points out, the special services cited in one of the memos referred to intelligence activities of Obama's CIA and FBI. On this program, we refer to that as the deep state, which may have included the work of the Trump dossier author Christopher Steele. Remember, Hillary Clinton bought and paid for dirty Russian disinformation dossier. He's at the bottom of that. It's been totally debunked and full of lies. According to Tulsi Gabbard, her declassification last week, this was before then President Obama ordered John Brennan to come up with the second intelligence assessment in the winter of 2016 because they didn't like the original assessment that was completed by senior career CIA officials, rank and file. And they did not find any evidence at all whatsoever that Donald Trump was colluding with Russia. This takes us into December, well past the election, when they put out their report. But that wasn't good enough. That didn't fit the lying narrative. Brennan was so desperate to get this new report that he published it using material from Hillary's dirty Russian disinformation dossier. Now, despite serious objections from career agents in the CIA, according to all this declassified information, they were all against it. In other words, based on all the new evidence from the Durham annex and last week's declassifications from Gabbard, the Obama White House used the full force of the FBI and the CIA and, frankly, the White House to conspire with the Clinton campaign, utilizing actual Russian disinformation that they bought, they paid for, was bought by the Clinton campaign, first to stop Trump from winning the election. They thought she'd win. And then, when she lost, to smear President Trump, delegitimize the election results, and cast a shadow over Trump's presidency, which, by the way, it did. We covered this story for 3 long years, almost night in and night out. As Senator Chuck Grassley put it, quote, intelligence reports showing the Clinton campaign may have been ginning up the fake Trump-Russia narrative for Clinton's political gain, which was ultimately done through the Steele dossier and other means, and yet the corrupt media mob happily pushed this hoax for years. They celebrated it.
Look, I think that the president does not want to come to terms with the fact that the Russians hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election to tilt it to Mr. Trump. The question is, did Mr. Trump cooperate?
Unlike President Trump, he has no doubt the Russians hacked the election.
Mr. Trump is seeing more and more of the walls closing in on him, which is why he is becoming increasingly desperate.
The presidency is effectively a Russian op, right? You know, partisan warfare between Republicans and Democrats. This is international warfare against our country.
This is evidence of willingness to commit collusion.
Definitively, Russia hacked the election, and Russia is doing it again now.
This is why I said after Election Day, the legacy state-run media mob is officially dead. Peddling lies and conspiracy theories takes away any trust that you might have with the American people. This is a level of corruption and bias I've never seen before. Everyone involved must now be held accountable so it never happens again. Now, tonight, in a lengthy statement, the Soros-backed Clinton ally in those newly released emails that were declassified today by Senator Chuck Grassley, well, their organization denied, quote, all wrongdoing. We've also reached out to Obama, Clinton, Brennan, Clapper, Obama advisor, the one that was mentioned in the annex. We have yet to hear back from anybody. They are welcome on this program if they want to try to explain this.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.